And Dave, considering how much this team grew this year, is this the most disappointing postseason that you've ever dealt with?
Every time you don't win the last game of the year, then it's disappointing. But I thought our team took some strides this year. We were expecting more in the playoffs. It's a tight series. We couldn't find a way to get on top of it.
And can you speak to the game that Connor played? What he brought to it, some of the things that happened with the line change in the middle there, and basically everything that he touched tonight was remarkable in some ways.
Well, when you get to see a player normally plays 20 to 25 minutes, I think tonight he was at 45 or something, so you got to see a lot of them. And I give our players credit; they battled hard. That's not an easy game. We didn't get the result we wanted last night. And you come in here and you got to play a back-to-back, and we had a lot of players play very well. It's just disappointing we couldn't get the win.
Derek Van Diest, Post Media.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, a lot of people would have thought yesterday's loss would have been a huge backbreaker and obviously tough to turn that around. But you guys did leave it all out there today. And just an experience like that, an experience like this series where there are fine lines both ways, 3 overtime losses. What does that do to your young core in the sense that to get that experience, you need to have it in the playoffs? And what does that do to let them grow?
Well, hopefully it pushes them to get better. They know they have to take another step. And, that's when Ken and I came here last year, a couple of years ago, it's with the pandemic, it's been a bit of a mishmash, but we want to become a team that's a playoff team every year. And the more times you give yourself a chance, the greater chance you have to be successful. And I remember when I first started coaching in Dallas a long time ago, Bob Gainey worked with us, and that's what he said. He said, "Tip, you just got to have a team where you get in the playoffs every year, and then you can find those years where something special happens." And we've had 2 years in a row here. We've got to continue to improve. There's some building blocks that are in place that we need to continue to build on. But we want to be a playoff team every year, give ourselves a chance to compete for the cup every year. So there's some hard lessons you learn along the way. I thought we took some steps this year overall in how we play as a team, how we defend as a team. Things that have to be in place if you're going to, get to the point where your team is a top contender. So we need to continue to work at that. But right now, it feels a little bit hollow with the way things went in the playoffs.
In overtime, when you shorten your bench like you did, and then it just extends and extends and extends and extends, is it tough to get the guys that have been sitting for a period and a half, 2 periods, back in the rotation? How does that work?
It's that's a game that both teams were just in rhythm, both playing 3 lines. We were down to 4D, and you just get in rhythm and play. I was bugging Jesse after the second overtime or whatever. He took him 5 periods to get his legs going. Now he looks like he's going again. So, but it's players get in rhythm, and then I'm sure there'll be some sore guys tomorrow. Nursey played a lot of minutes, so I give them credit, though. They left it all out there.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
I was going to ask you about Darnell Nurse. He played almost like 60 minutes almost, but he didn't look tired. Is that he just was able to conserve his energy?
Well, he's an efficient skater, and he's an unbelievable athlete. Somebody just mentioned that he's in the top 3 of the league. One of the other ones was Zubov. I think that was with me in Dallas too. So, Nursey just played. He keeps going. He just keeps working, and his game doesn't seem to drop off any. He's a phenomenal athlete, and not just to play 60-some minutes tonight, but to play it in a back-to-back situation is pretty amazing.
And losing 4 in a row when all the games are close is, I guess, the easy thing to say is, we needed some bounces. Well, how do you get those bounces? Were the gods just not on your side?
You got to continue.
How do you get the bounces?
You got to continue to work and get better. There's some things we can do in this to help us get better. Some of these lessons are hard to learn, but next time you recognize situations better. There's just there's things that happen in a game that the only way you can figure them out is to go through them, and that's unfortunately that's some of the challenges we're going through right now.
Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Dave, you gave up the lead again in this game, but the team seemed to steal itself after that. How do you think you played, after that happened and through the overtimes? How do you think you regrouped from having that happen again?
I think we're solid. When you get into long overtimes then like that, I've been in a few of them, it seems like one team will get a little momentum and get a few chances, then the other team will, and then it'll kind of be stagnant for a while. But I thought our guys hung in there. We turned over a puck and they ended up tying it in the third, but we kept working. I felt like our team was in good rhythm. Schmidt was making some big saves for us, and it's too bad we couldn't get the one we needed.
And just on the overtime winner, just what you saw, Dave. Obviously, you were stuck with the long change that period. Was Bear okay trying to get to the bench there? Was it just tough with the turnover? What did you see?
Yeah, it's just a puck that went down the wall, and they just flipped it out. And there was, I think, a guy that was stuck in behind. We were trying to change D, so just a break that they got, and they took advantage of.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, Connor talked about it, it feels like a weird series that you lose all four and they're close, and he felt like they were the better team at times, but it just seemed like little mistakes or, bad turnovers, kind of cost you guys the game. You say you got to learn from those lessons is one thing for sure. Are you certain though that certain guys do? How do you evaluate that to know which guys are able to learn from that?
That's an evaluation you go through every year. As you try to get better, you evaluate your personnel and see where they are, see who handles situations like that, and you make adjustments accordingly.
And I know it's really fresh, so just focus on that game again. Obviously Haas puck over the glass isn't really a debatable penalty, but they did make the one call early in overtime, and then after that it seemed they put their whistles away. Frustrating at all when you had a few of your guys take it
very
down?
Frustrating. You see some of those ones. You see Yamamoto. Okay, you call that one, but there was 3 or 4 just like that weren't called. That's the frustrating part. That's the frustrating part. You set a precedent in overtime, and then you did, and then you don't go with it. That's the frustrating part.
Final question, Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Yeah, Dave, in the end, you know what? You guys played lots of good hockey, and whenever there was a break that you needed, the blue team got it. You guys never seem to get it. Is there, you're a coach, you watch lots of hockey. How much of that is bad luck, and how much of that is something you can control that you could have done better?
Well, there's always things you can do better, and maybe it's not the play that bites you. It could be some other place that if you would have done better in other parts of the game, that bad bounce or bad luck wouldn't have affected you so much. So there's always things to learn that way. It's finding a way to win games, and sometimes it's not the critical error. It's the other parts of the game that when maybe you didn't start well enough, or some things like that put you in. You don't get the results you want, and it's hard to break it down into one play when it's a number of things that you could have done to be better to give yourself a better chance to win. Now that being said, there's times I thought we played very well in this series and didn't get rewarded for it either. So that's those are all parts of the game that you just have to go through, and hopefully we continue to get better.
That's the last question then. The fact that happened for 4 games in a row, I guess, is the thing that makes me wonder, like it never changed, right? Right down to the end of the series, that bounce went the Jets' way, that break went the Jets' way. Is it just extended good luck on their part, or is there more to it?
Well, I think if you look at it, we had 6 games where they didn't beat us with some of it extended luck turned around on us.